views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This show's audio was via a Skype call.
Are you ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, Your Call to Action. Join Kornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Kornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, Living Heaven on Earth. What an amazing show we have today. There's a woman that I would like you to meet. Dawn Divineste grew up in Apple County in the rolling green hills of Sonoma County, California. She has traversed the United States, receiving life experiences in Pennsylvania, New Mexico, San Diego, Oregon, and has found her heart space where she resides now in Kapaa, Kauai. This is where I recently met Dawn Divineste. And I have invited her to come on to today's show because she has an absolutely incredible story to share. Dawn's mother, Candace Watson, was violently murdered exactly 6 years ago today by a family member that Dawn cared very much about. And I was so captivated by this story and this woman because she has an absolutely open heart and is living in a place of forgiveness today, of compassion and understanding. And you know that when we tell stories, we heal through our stories. So it is my hope and desire that as you're listening today to today's story and you meet this incredible woman, and she's an amazing healer with many other gifts, but I decided to share all of her healing abilities and all of the wonderful things that she does in Kauai today with you later on, because I want you to meet Dawn for who she is right now and the incredible story that she has to share. And then you're going to later on be introduced to the gifts that she brings and how she's really been able to help herself move into this place. And, you know, this show is Living Heaven on Earth. And so what does that mean? Heaven on Earth is about living the consciousness of what it is that we do in heaven. And in heaven, we understand the big picture. We understand that everything is really all forgiven. It's our lower humanity that what we're playing out here that we're releasing and letting go of. And forgiveness is a powerful tool, but it wasn't easy. So Dawn is going to share with us today how she forgave, how she healed, how she fell, and how she ascended into a higher vibrational state of living and being. Welcome to the show today, Dawn.
Thank you very much. Aloha. Aloha, everyone. Thank you for listening. Yes, it's been a long journey. It's been 6 years today that I woke up getting ready for work early in the morning, 6 a.m. My husband had already left for work. And just somebody was pounding on the door. And they were relentless. The dogs were going crazy, and I was just stepping into the shower. I had no intention of going to the door, but it was so, it was like, okay, I'll go to the door. And then to see who it was like, wait, that's my brother's old girlfriend. What is she doing here? And it started my confusion. And she's like, Dawn, you gotta, come on, let's go to the hospital. Come on. I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden my husband is charging back up the sidewalk and saying, get your clothes on, come on, we gotta go, yelling at me. And I just was like, and so I went, got some clothes. I don't go anywhere without makeup. That was my past anyways. It was really hard. So jumped in the car. Nobody was telling me anything. And we get to the hospital, and I see people outside of the emergency room, and people are talking. And then all of a sudden I joined the group, and just people are saying like, oh my gosh, Bob's in his second surgery, and he's almost, Bob, my stepdad, he's almost, they're not sure if he's going to make it. And I'm like, what is going on? I was so mad. Like, what were they doing early in the morning, driving around? How could they get in a car accident? It just made no sense. And so the people kept on talking, and, one person was running by the house and had seen somebody puking in the bushes, and the police, and just chaos. And then it was just like, wait. Okay, wait. No, I know that somebody was there at the house. That was my cousin. My cousin was there, and he had called me the night before, and had come down unexpectedly from Portland, and it was like, no, that was an invited guest. So there must have been some other person that, what, they broke in the house? That's crazy. And so, and then somebody says, your mother's dead. And I was just like, what? No, whoa, way too much. And I just walked away, and with my husband, and it was like, what is going on? It makes no sense. What the hell? And then all of a sudden, this knowing came over me. I'm like, oh my God, Cody did this. Oh my God. And then then my only purpose was to just talk to the police, because I had the best relationship with Cody. I knew him. I had helped him in January. He was stuck on the East Coast, and I had bought a bus ticket back for him. And it just made no sense. And he had opened up to me about some past, things and past hurts and family stuff. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to the police. And so I made 2 phone calls. One was to my boss to tell him, I'm sorry, Sam, I'm not going to be at work. My mother's been murdered. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I know. It makes no sense. He knew her. And so the other one was to my psychic friend, and like, oh my gosh, Liv, anyways, this just happened, and she called me back.
So you contacted your boss, and you contacted your psychic friend. You were in the hospital.
Yes.
And your Bob was in the second surgery, and your mom was already dead. Your mom was already murdered.
Yes.
And prior to you even getting to the hospital, you were getting ready for work, and nobody was telling you anything, even though your, sister-in-law came to the house, and we didn't really have that great of a relationship with her, maybe, or whatever.
No, it's just
why is she there? Right. Why is she there?
I mean, they had broken up, so I don't know. It was weird. Like, she had never come to my house before. Yeah.
But so nobody said anything that the parents are in the hospital. Nobody.
We just need to go to the hospital. We need to go there now. I don't know I don't know who knew what at that point. I think. Yeah. My husband, he knew more than he was letting on because...
Right. And he just didn't know how to say it to you.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so now here you are in the hospital and they've just told you that your mother has been murdered. And then all of a sudden a light bulb went off and you were thinking about your cousin, right? Is it your cousin, Cody? Right? That he had just come for a visit and
it wasn't even a visit. It was just like he appeared. He had called me the night before to get my mom's phone number, or the 2 nights before. And because he wanted to pay us back. Well, I'm thinking pay us back for, the money that he owed me for the bus ticket and everything, helping him from when he was stuck on the East Coast and had lost his, debit card, and the hotel was charging him and he was overdrawn and, all this.
So you thought he was going to pay you back financially?
Yeah. Yes. Not like, we had never done anything, harmful to him. Oh my gosh.
Right. But, so you called your psychic and you called your work to say what just happened, and you're completely in a state of shock.
Right. Completely.
Yeah. Completely in a state of shock. So You called the psychic friend, and what did she say?
So she calls me back and leaves a couple messages. Like, she tunes in and she says, Dawn, it's going to be all right. Bob, he's at the light. He's turning around. He's coming back. He's going to be fine. And with that, I just had this, I don't know, like I didn't have to worry about that. It took it off my plate. I didn't have to worry.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Him and what was going on with him and recovery and all that. So that was huge.
Yeah.
That was a huge relief.
Yeah.
And, but then, then I could just focus on like, oh my God, let's talk to the police. I want to talk to him. And sure enough, once we got inside, we weren't even inside the hospital yet. And once we got inside, they set up a special room for us. And then all of a sudden the detectives came. And they're like, okay, so we're going to, set this up and we'll have a special room. We can, do some interviews. And I am going first. I have the most information. I want to talk to you. Let's go. And so basically I vomited like everything I knew about family history and like how this may have been possible. And, I look at it now and go, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. But because it was all speculative. It was just like completely like, looking for answers, and here's all the information that I have, and here's, yes, I'll give you their computers, and, oh my gosh, maybe somebody emailed something that pissed him off, or, I was just really looking for answers because nothing made sense. So I love the police. I love the detectives. They were so helpful to me in that they warned me right up front, just avoid the news, avoid the blogs, avoid the newspaper. You got to keep yourself safe. And this is going to be hard and it's going to be long. It's going to be at least a couple years before a trial.
Wow.
Do not waste your energy. Protect yourself. And so, I'm really grateful to, all the doctors and the EMT and all the first responders and oh my gosh, there was in the community, Redding, California,
mm-hmm.
Grant School District. Bob was the superintendent of this amazing Grant School District, top school in the area. It's just, there was a huge community affected by this. It was so out of the blue. I mean, I didn't realize how many people knew me until, something like that happened. And then it was,
Yeah. I just really can't, I just can't imagine, this is like an unthinkable, unimaginable act of violence that you went through. And I mean, I can't think of anything that's worse if your child gets murdered. You
don't even know like what happened. I mean, so Cody, this is my understanding. Okay. He, shows up in Red Bluff and calls my mom. She just happens to be down in Red Bluff, going to a vet, taking this dog to the vet, she's always taking care of other people and other animals. And so, she gets this call from Cody, and he's like, he slept through the Reading stop and, picks him up. But my understanding is he resisted and like, no, it's okay. I don't want to go with you, because he was suicidal. Well, okay. So my mom, no, come on. And in fact, that Thursday night, she had called me and said, come over for dinner. Cody's here. We can have a family dinner together. I'm like, no. I was resistant because it confused me. Like, what? He just called me last night, got your number, but he didn't say anything about coming down the next day or that night. I mean, that was weird. But the situation with the dog, I had been caring for this dog, fostering a dog for a couple months. It was supposed to be a couple weeks. And I finally had to stand up to my mom and say, Mom, I can't do this anymore. It's really affecting the household, and, you got to take this dog. So she had that day. And so she wants me to come over for dinner. I'm like, no. I don't want to be in that family dynamic of, I had to stand up to her, and that was like a first. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to be there. So, anyways, it just.
So Cody was suicidal. That was his challenge. That's what he was dealing with. And that was, everybody in the family knew that. You knew that.
No, we didn't know that.
You didn't know that he was suicidal?
No, I didn't know that until after the fact.
Okay, not until after the fact. Isn't that interesting? Wow.
No, it was when I found out more specifics about what had happened, that it was early in the morning, like 5:30 a.m. He had drank 6 Robitussin cough syrups. He had, drank a bunch of JD. He was trying to kill himself that night.
Okay.
And what happened was he was at such a low vibration, whatever. He probably exited his body, and low vibration. It calls in whatever darkness wants to take over, or
the body. That's interesting.
And entity, or who knows? I mean, So, what happened that morning was he went in the kitchen, and my mom was in the kitchen, and he had taken kitchen knives and attacked her with knives. And it was a struggle. They said my mom was a fighter, and it was a struggle throughout. And Bob was in the shower. And so when he thought my mom was dead, he went after Bob. And Bob was in the shower, and he was attacked, and there was a big struggle, and Cody was hurt as well. And then when he thought Bob was dead, he went back for my mom. It was horrendous. Like, they don't make movies that disgusting.
They really don't.
So Bob gets out of the shower, makes it outside around the house, all the way across the street to the neighbors, naked and bleeding. The neighbor just happens to be, a person that can handle situations like that in medical and caretaking, and when he knocks on the door, she runs for the towels and 911 and knows how to stop the bleeding. I mean, not that there was no stopping the bleeding, but it just, anyways, that's when that's like this big, influx of, the EMTs and the police. In the meantime, my mom, she had grabbed the phone and called 911 and gone and made it to the garage. And then he had come back for her and
finished it off.
And just, it was. And so she actually was laying on the phone with the line. The line, I was upset because, they have an alarm system. But what I didn't realize was the line on the phone was with 911, and that's why the alarm didn't go off, because the alarm uses the same line as the phone. So, not that it matters, but I mean, it just, yeah. So yes, horrendous. Now I spoke to, I ran into one of the EMTs later, like say a year later, and he said, you realize that Bob, his heart stopped twice when he was at the hospital, and that he did not have any blood left in his body. When the EMT hooked up fluid to his toe, his heart started again before they even had the blood hooked up. It's like a knowing of, if you are meant to survive, you will survive. Now, did he thrive? No, he went from a 69-year-old to probably a 99-year-old because of the lack of blood, the lack of oxygen to the brain. It did affect his abilities. He was on a feeding tube for the rest of his life.
He lived for how long after?
2 years. Mm-hmm. Requiring full-time assistance. I mean, full-time
care,
everything. Yeah. And yeah, my husband and I, we did that, and that was a whole nother chapter. But yeah, those that first day.
So all the blood had drained out of his body. He had no fluid, no blood left, and he came back to life. He had a mission to continue on being here. He wasn't done yet.
Right.
He wasn't done yet, which is also the same thing that you said that the psychic said to you, that he had gone to the light and he probably had the opportunity there to let it go and just stay.
So I'm going to cry now, because
Please cry.
I'm so grateful to him for coming back, because if he would have gone, I would have been destroyed. It just would have been too much. It just, him surviving gave me purpose. Every day I could go to the hospital, and I was the only one that was let into the ICU. I was the only one. I was the power of attorney. I was the, one that they had entrusted me with, all their stuff. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was so important to call the insurance and, oh my God, clean up the house, we can't let it just sit, oh my gosh. But, I didn't even know who their insurance, agent was or anything. And I wasn't about to go to the house. I mean, the police were dealing with that and told me that, that they would call me when it was appropriate. And so guess what? My car gets hit. My car gets hit in the hospital parking lot. And I was so mad, of all these things, now my car it's a hit and run. And so I call my agent, and she goes, oh, well, we heard about, what happened, and, and we are your parents' agent. I'm like, oh my God, no wonder my car got hit. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I mean, stuff like that happened immediately. Like that first night when I was trying to go to sleep, trying to go to bed. Oh my gosh. I woke up like every couple hours, and the first thing I saw, like I have this clock radio on the above me, and it was, one of these like digital clock radios, but upside down, I found out that the numbers are letters, because it was like 1144 the first time. So 1144 upside down was HHII, high. But then it didn't stop. Like that night, I kept on waking up, and it was like, 102, SOL, soul, 353, easy, ESE, easy, 358, busy. I was just like, oh my gosh. I went from a not knowing really what happened to us, like when we die, to a full-on knowing without a doubt that we are eternal. Like I've gone to classes and things in the past, like my mom and I, we went to Portland and we saw Neale Donald Walsch, and his, he writes this great book about death and what happens on the other side, and it's called Home with God. And it was just so amazing to like go with her. But the ironic part is that we were with Cody in Portland, a couple years prior, when we had gone to Portland and saw this in Home with God and All About Death. We were with Cody. We were visiting. We were having a good time. And so, I had this concept of, all right, so we're eternal. So that there's an afterlife. We're souls. Yes, yes, yes. But now all of a sudden I'm getting messages from my mom that everything's okay. She's a soul. It's easy. Hello. I see it all the time still. It's just yesterday you had clarification. Your mom was actually coming through, because this is the first public interview you've ever done, and I'm so honored to celebrate your mom's life and give voice and platform. We're going to take a break, Don. We're going to take a quick break, letting the listeners know we're taking a break, and we'll be right back with more on this horrendous, amazing, it's just mind-blowing to me story. So thank you so much for being courageous and sharing this with us today. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Don Diviniste.
To find answers to life's questions, you need to look within yourself. Dr. Glenna Rice brings your questionable conversations on Transformation Talk Radio each month. Tune in each month for insight into how you can live up to your full potential. Dr. Glenna is a physical therapist, certified Access Consciousness, and Access Body Class facilitator. How does it get any better than this? For more information on Dr. Glenna Rice and her work, visit glennarice.com.
Love Living Radio Ignite Your Whole Being with Emily Perkins is a show for those looking to explore the sparkling magnificence of their inner selves. Tune in every second and fourth Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific as Emily sheds a radiant light of love on the beauty and power that resides within you. Discussing love in all its forms through conversations that provoke awareness, curiosity, and expansion, Emily shares the unlimited power of love. For more information or to listen to this show, visit lovelivingholistics.com.
The Janice Underwood Show, helping you create the life you want, not the life you tolerate. Tune in each Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as Janice delves into the life creator system and the next step in your spiritual evolution. Janice Underwood is gifted at helping spiritually minded people shift their mindsets to unleash the creator within. Our souls wish to wake us up. Those of us listening hear the call. Do you? For more information, visit janiceunderwood.com.
Introducing New Soul Science, an introductory course with Ruby Betty, offering profound wisdom alongside radically simple concepts and techniques that collapse time, allowing instantaneous personal transformation. The foundational techniques of this introductory course reveal the profound inner ability each human has to access and fulfill their individual soul script or soul promise. Awakening this ability leads to the mastery of one's destiny. The concepts are totally original, immensely powerful, and completely revolutionary. They ignite an infinite fire within each listener, fueling one's ability to live out their unique soul promise. Are you ready to become more aware and access amazing personal transformation? This course is available now at rubybetty.co.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, and I'm talking with dimeThe. And before we went to break, we were talking about Don's mother, Candace Watson, was violently murdered 6 years ago today on June the 8th of 2012, which is really interesting because when I invited Don to come and tell her story on this show, I was in Kauai, and I was looking at my calendar, and I was sitting there, and I was looking at all of the dates of when I could have her on. She wasn't even with me, and I hadn't even communicated it to her. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the dates when I can have her on to bring this story out, to share this story with you, and to bring Dawn on, first public interview ever that she's doing and sharing the story about her mom, her life, and what she went through about Bob Watson, her mom, and the family. And so I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my calendar, and I had plenty of dates to choose from. And June 8th, 2018 was the date that I chose. So I proceeded to call Dawn on the phone, and I said, this is the date I would like to have you as a guest on my radio show. And there was silence. And I said, hello, are you still there? And she said, that was the date that my mother was murdered, June 8th. And I couldn't believe it. So this is how profound this is. And I want to take my time. We're gonna capture this story with however long it's going to take to get through all of the different things that there's so much here to share, because this is so huge. Dawn just had a psychic reading the other day, and her mom came in. And Dawn, do you want to share with us what the information was that you received during that time?
Yeah. So so Vicky Gay, she's world famous psychic, and she's, by chance, coming to Kauai to do this retreat. And I just happened to be the retreat coordinator for her. And, and her phone, like last week, it started randomly calling me. And she kept on saying, oh, I'm sorry, my phone is acting weird. And I knew something was up because I was like, well, okay, wait, Vicky, is somebody trying to come through? Mm. And then I said, is my mom trying to come through and messing with your phone? And so she took a moment and tapped in, and she was like, oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, there's so much excitement on the other side. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so she didn't know what was going on. Like Vicky didn't know, like the radio show or anything, but I knew. And so I I had to, call and set up this time. She wanted to just wait until she got here and do a reading. I'm like, no, I think that they want to talk to me and tell me something beforehand. So yeah, we set it up a couple of days ago, had this amazing reading. She validated things. She didn't know the history. She knew something right away with the neck. She started off with the eye. The right eye is always tearing, and I'm like, that's my mom. She was going to UC Davis Medical Center to get checked every 6 months, and she was having this, carcinoma issue, and it was like, there's no doubt there. And then, Grandma came in, and my mom, I had just the day before was unloading this box that I've had here for a couple years, and I open it up, and all these old letters from Mom, and this like little metal box with coins in it, but the coins were 50-cent pieces, and that was my grandma's. And Vicky is saying, like, she sees this letter from my mom, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just picked it up yesterday, and everything, I didn't read it, but she's like, well, your mom says, that everything in there is pertinent, that she loves you so very much. And then same with, she says, I'm seeing coins, a stack of coins, but they're not like regular coins. I'm like, oh, so there's the validation of Grandma. And then, the message in Bob, we called in Bob.
And so what was your mom, what was the
message?
So basically, that was they're already all the messages, but basically they're totally on board, healing and whole and feeling on board with what we're doing, what you're doing, sharing this message.
They are so appreciative. They are so appreciative because they're like, if we didn't have you, it would just be done. And it was just my intention is that this be a positive influence in someone's life, and that this serves a greater good, that somehow, some way, something I'm going to share, something is going to make a difference for someone. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm sharing. I'm not going into the drama and, yes, it's drama, but it's like, that's not the focus. The focus is in the victory, is in the overcoming, is in the positive attitude, the positive thought, the choosing what you share on Facebook, just all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you feed yourself, what you share out. Yeah.
Right. And that's part of it. And then there's also the other part of it, because there was also rage, and there was, all kinds of trauma that came after that. And I want us to go into that too. I just don't know if we're going to dive into it today, but we will definitely go into that because I want us to really cover that and show what it's like. I just get the chills all over, because, hey, that's part of the darkness. It's part of the rage. It's part of the divine feminine that is feeling the rage of injustice and all of that. It just gives me the chills all over the place, because, it has to be expressed. It has to be felt. It has to be acknowledged.
Right.
Before we earlier, before we went on break, I said that here's Bob. Bob was coming back. He went to the other side. He was already at the light. The psychic told you that in the hospital, and I totally believe that. So he was already there. And then we have a choice then at that point. Do we want to come back, or do we want to stay with the light, right? And so his angels, his guides were saying, Don needs you. Don needs you. You have to go back, because he was probably so fine with being there, but he had to come back because he still had purpose here to give you purpose. Well,
and not only that, but it was so karmic. I mean, there's a dark side there. Like Bob in my history, I've never called him Bob until that happened. He used to be Robert, and Robert, he's a dictator, And people at school, they know this. He is my way or the highway. And so early on in my life, we butted heads big time. He was the reason I left my hometown and moved, a couple states away. No, he was the reason. And so we've had this huge, roller coaster ride through the years. And yeah, it's an ironic story, really. But karmically, yes, there were things. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, I get that part. I see that's part. But what brought the tears for you is that the fact that you said him coming back gave you purpose, because otherwise you would have been destroyed. That was his mission, to come back, because now he was going to have to be in a humble place where before he was a dictator. And now he's going to have to be in a humble place to completely let you take care of him.
Oh, my gosh.
We're going to take another break.
I mean, oh, my gosh, to the extreme.
Yeah, and we're gonna cover all these things. So we're going to take another break, Dawn. It's just the time goes by so fast. And this story is literally, it's like so much. I really foresee that this is going to be a movie made, and seriously, because there's so much like the dictator that is now coming back and is in your care, and everything got switched. But the main thing is that I'm so glad that he came back, that loving soul that said yes to coming back, so that you had purpose, because who knows what would have happened. And all the lives that you're touching today, how it's rippling out with this story. But not only that, the healing work that you're doing in Kauai, and everything that you've done for the family lineage, for the family on Earth. And so I thank you so much for doing this amazing work. That's one of the reasons why I said your heart is just so huge, and I absolutely want you, and I adore you, and I want you to tell this story, and I was holding you to it. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
All right. Thank you.
Charlene Hess is a red-headed powerhouse of energy, love, and light. As a hairstylist, personal trainer, and life coach, she empowers people to develop a deeper connection with themselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. Join Charlene the third Friday of each month on the Kornelia Stephanie Show. Get ready to experience your highest self, find your purpose, and discover your calling. You too can become unstoppable, shining your light and sharing your gift. Visit Charlene at charlenehess.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good, and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Practice living in wholeness with the body tune-up. 6 classes for $89 designed for radical self-healing and self-regeneration. Heal the deepest root of any challenge. The mental body was programmed in negativity, not good enough, separate from source. You're too much, you'll never make it. The emotional body holds all the pain and trauma of emotional suppression, all the pain from this life and lives past. The spiritual body is the place you connect with your higher power, your higher self, with the image and likeness of the One. The physical body houses and expresses the other 3 bodies every day. Go to KorneliaStephanie.com. Evolve, become a practitioner. We need to heal, integrate, and bring into wholeness and harmony the physical body, addressing all the other bodies in order to live in our true, authentic nature.
Ignite your inner magic on Grow Your Soul Radio with Jane Matanga. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Jane Matanga explores how to overcome your fears to help you gain the inspiration you need to awaken your path to joy. Learn the way to life mastery and the enlightened path with Grow Your Soul Radio. For more information on Jane Matanga and her work, visit enlightened-path.com.
So before we went to break, we were talking about all of the different dynamics that took place with this horrendous crime that Don had to live through and experience. And I invited Don to be a guest on this show, and I also invited Don to be a co-host of the show, and she agreed and she said yes. And so this is going to be a series, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this story and we're going to touch on so many different aspects of it, because there's so much that we can learn from, that we can heal from, and that we can share with this story. And so you're going to be able to pick up with us in this theme. It's going to be on the first Friday of every month. So you'll be able to July 1st Friday, August 1st Friday, like that. We'll announce it on Facebook. You can go to KorneliaStephanie.com, and you can even look at Don's Facebook page, DonDiviniste.com.
Yes.
Right? I mean, DonDiviniste, not .com, but you can look at Don's website, DonDiviniste.com, and you can also go to my website, KorneliaStephanie.com, and there's going to be all kinds of information. And just know that it's always going to be on the first Friday of the month with Don, and we're going to continue on this story because there's so much to say. One of the things I wanted to ask her right now was to share with us about, she was showing up and going to the hospital every day, and then how did she deal with the emotional trauma and the grief that she was now being faced with, counseling and whatever?
Okay. Well, yeah, luckily California is pretty good with support. The victim witness program is available, but so I had counseling, and I got to pick my counselor right away and start weekly counseling. And that's actually lasted up until just recently. I've had weekly counseling. One of the first things, so the immediate family only gets counseling, and that's paid for by the perpetrator or anyways. And so, but the bad part was my husband, he didn't get counseling, and he had a hard journey. So that was not that great. The first thing that I had in my counseling session was EMDR. EMDR, rapid eye movement, reprogramming the brain to take something horrific and transmute it. The worst image, of course, I didn't see things. I avoided that. But, our mind is powerful. And the images in my mind from just what I knew, they were pretty horrific. And so for me to go into that session and start the EMDR, and she has this wand, and she's going and your eyes are following, and just seeing that vision and, having it be on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 10 extreme. And by the end of that, 10, 15 minutes, the knife turned into a feather. And not only that, but I felt this golden light come in to the neck area, and it's just like I saw a divine vision of how when a soul is in a body, it's truly, temporary. And that my mom did not feel the horrific stuff. is horrific to us. She was beyond that state. Like, she probably popped out, before having to experience the whole thing. So that was a huge relief. Yeah. And then, I mean, gosh, there's so much, but, for me to go from a scale, the 10 to, down to a 1 with just that first vision was truly amazing. And I had never done that before.
Yeah. Because you had said earlier in the break, you were talking about the throat area, because her throat was sliced so deeply. And that's the horrific part, is that there were so many cuts on them, both of them. My mom's neck was, she was decapitated. It was awful. And Bob, here I am in the ICU with him. And one day I started counting the lacerations. And I got to like 70, and I was just like, oh my God, I just got to stop. And just, I stopped. It was just too much. I couldn't believe it. It was so amazing for him to be alive. You see in the movies, you get stabbed once and they're dead. It's just like he had over 70, and it was like proof that if it is not your time, yeah. I'm just blown away by the massiveness of this story, of what we're gonna be talking about over the next 6 months, and we're gonna just uncover so much. And so right now, Dawn, we actually have 3 minutes left before we're done with this show today. Can you believe it? What do we want to say to the listeners, to the vibration, to your parents, to your mom, to Bob, to everybody, all the souls that are listening? What is it that we want to say with our wisdom, with our intention, that you and I are here today to share this? Yeah,
they definitely wanted this story shared, that it serves a higher purpose than what I even know. And like, my message to people having a hard time is to choose your thoughts, to choose your actions, to choose your food. Make sure it's the highest vibration, to eat the superfood, to eat the organic food. It's worth it. To surround yourself with loving people, to really start increasing your self-love. Mm-hmm. You gotta start with yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to start with yourself. And yes, you are worthy. We are all worthy. We are all divine. We are so worth it.
Yeah. And tell the audience where they can find you, where they can see your website and your Facebook. Okay.
DawnDiviniste.com. It's DawnDiviniste.com, or Diviniste.com, Diviniste.com, to make it easy. Yeah. And Facebook, I'm at Creative Dawn. So Facebook.com/Creative Dawn, DAWN.
Thank you, Dawn. And go to KorneliaStephanie.com and Kornelia Stephanie Facebook. And there's all kinds of information. Everybody that wants my 21-day peace practice can email me at radio@KorneliaStephanie.com, and you can have it for free. Thank you for being here today, everybody. We're going to continue on this amazing story. We send you so much love, peace, and liberty in our evolution of humanity on Earth. Thank you so much. Thanks, Dawn. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Kornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For
For more information on Kornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at KorneliaStephanie.com.